All right, three, two, one, action.
Welcome back to the Driveway Podcast. I am your host, Zach, along with my co-host and handsome confidant, Johnny Reeder.
Wow.
Um, funny story. We just learned, Johnny and I, that my mic has not been working at all the past like four podcasts since we started
May-
going virtual.
Maybe not necessarily not working, but you haven't been you haven't been using your mic.
No. So if everyone's wondering why he sounded so much better than me previously, it's because I just am dumb and don't check the Zoom settings. So going forward though, we got to unlock. So
Zach, yeah, going
I won't
forward,
forget
Zach's gonna
this.
sound all silky and smooth
Hmm
and real nice. It
like the
looks
baby's
like
butt.
it looks like you are in my former room right now. Is
That
that
is
it?
correct.
Has it become your office?
It sure has.
Wow.
I got my monitor, my laptop, and
Nice. So that's got to be nice to kind of have a little bit of separation now, so that at least you don't have to stay in your bedroom for, the entire
yeah,
day. You can at least get up and leave your bedroom.
and it's room temperature in here too. Like it's not 100 degrees
Yeah,
upstairs or it's not
I
freezing
forgot
cold.
about that. Yeah, it's not
Yeah,
not terrible. What do you think of the vent right at your feet, though? I always found that
I
to be really cold.
I hate it, dude.
I know. I put a
I hate it
box in
so
front of it,
much. Oh, okay, I was smart.
so that's what I did. But yeah, and then doggo update. How's Panay doing?
Danae is doing well. We had a bit of an incident last night with her.
Oh no.
Um, yeah, so we were just chilling in bed, about to go to sleep, and she just started biting me or like, doing the mouthing. I'm like, oh, stop it,
Mm,
you. Stop it, still goose. And then
yeah.
she got kind of aggressive and like really
Oh.
bit me. And I was like, oh,
Whoa.
that's not very nice. And then she started freaking out. And then
Oh.
she ran across my room and then she looked at the stairs, barked at the door, and then dude, she bulldozed herself to the door and like hit it, smashed her head against the door and knocked it
Oh
open.
my, like going downstairs.
Going down the stairs, yeah.
Jeez. What the heck?
I
So
don't
I
know.
mean, what do you do in that scenario? Do you punish the dog for biting you? Because obviously, like, I mean, obviously you don't want to reinforce the behavior, I'd
Hmm
assume, but I don't know, like, I don't know how you treat that
Yeah.
delicately.
I looked it up and online told me to, I mean, the aggressive thing, that's just probably a puppy trying to figure out if she's allowed to do that or not.
Oh, okay, yeah. And so yeah,
But
so I guess that's the response. Like, how do you respond? Because I'm assuming like an adult dog, if bitten, would maybe like, do the little paw slap or something like that to the head. I don't know.
hmm no, so for the mouthing, I'm supposed to put my hand out in front of her nose so she can't bite anything. She just like her nose hits my palm.
Oh, okay,
So
okay.
that's how I stop that. And I'm not supposed to reinforce bad behavior. I'm just supposed to reinforce good behavior. That's kind
Oh,
of
okay.
what
So
we're
you
gonna be
just kind
doing.
of ignore the bad behavior. You
Yeah.
ignore the bad behavior, but reinforce good behavior.
Yeah.
Interesting.
That's what I read. I don't know if
That's what the
that's
internet said. All right,
true,
drop a
but
comment. Drop a comment if you know. If you know
yeah.
anything about dogs and puppies and in raising them, give us your opinion. We love opinions from the internet. They never fail to bring about good, constructive, um, you know, feedback.
I love reading the comments too in the videos. Makes it feel like a little community we got going on.
Yeah, no doubt. I mean, it's been good. We've had some good comments for sure.
But yeah, that's pretty much everything new with Penny. Um, yeah, she's great overall. She's still adorable. She's definitely gotten heavier since the first day we got her, and I feel like she got taller.
I don't think you were supposed to call a woman heavy, Zach.
Oh, I'm sorry, I didn't mean it.
Not supposed to comment on her weight.
She's bigger boned
Okay, there you go.
than she was before.
No, that's
But
good. I'm sure that's just
mhm,
good normal development.
and she hasn't acted out since. I think it was just like a one time, just freaking
Yeah.
out over biting. I think she was concerned because she bit me too hard,
Yeah.
and she's like, "Oh my gosh, I bit him too hard. I'm sad," and then tried to apologize by running into my door.
So she's like Dobby from
Yeah,
Harry Potter. Has to punish himself herself.
that's exactly it, man.
That's funny.
She's at my feet right now, doing well.
Oh, good, good. So
Hmm
she sleeps in bed with you. She doesn't sleep downstairs or anything like that.
No, she sleeps in bed with me because she yells
Okay.
if you're
Yup.
not next to her.
Oh, wow.
Yeah.
There you go. You're
hmm
COVID dog. You're creating a monster.
I I got to start socializing her with other dogs.
Yeah. Have you done that at all? Have you taken her out to a park or anything?
So our neighbors, on the if you're looking at our house on the
Mm-hmm.
right, they have a little
Yep.
golden doodle
Oh yeah.
that's new,
New,
and
yeah.
so
Oh,
I had them interact together.
cool.
She Panay didn't love her, but I think it's just
Yeah,
because she's meeting a new dog. You know, she's like, "Oh, what is this thing?" I'm sure when she meets more dogs, she'll get more accustomed to them.
no doubt. Sounds good.
But the
All
vet told me
right.
not to take her to a dog park until she gets all of her shots, just in case there's any dogs there are weird and carry
Oh,
anything. So
okay. Okay.
next month she'll be meeting new dogs left and right.
Cool. Good deal. How many vet visits have you had to have so far?
Just the one.
Okay.
I had it last Tuesday.
Mm-hmm.
The vet loved her.
Oh, that's
They're like,
nice.
"This is one of the cutest dogs we've ever seen,"
Aw.
which made me feel good. The vet
Is
was
it?
impressed I got her for the price I did.
Yeah. Yeah. I mean, it seemed like very, again, I think we talked about it, but it seemed very reasonable for sure.
Hmm. Well, apparently, like purebred, I don't know if those are purebred because because they're mixed together,
Yeah.
but they could go upwards of like 2 grand.
Yeah. Yeah. No, I believe it. I mean, yeah, like I was just, kind of when you were doing your thing, I was perusing the American Kennel Club, and I just, was selecting dogs just to see what, again, like, because we had talked and I had no frame of reference. So I
Hmm.
was like looking at other price, what they were going for, or what at least the AKC was saying. And yeah, and you definitely seemingly got, a good deal. So, well
You
on
were
you.
looking at
Well
dogs,
done.
huh?
I
You
mean,
switching sides,
okay,
man?
switching sides, yeah, for sure. No, I'm definitely, like I said, Samantha changed my heart. I don't like, I would never want to own Samantha herself. I'd love
Hmm.
to see her again someday. Just say hi, say what's up. She would not
Uh-huh.
remember me at all. I mean, she couldn't remember, her her head if it wasn't screwed on type, but um shoot, what was I gonna say? But no, I mean, a little bit, yes, but also, like I said, it was just purely based off of like you had been looking off, Puppy Finder or whatever that, right? It was called Puppy Finder or
Hmm.
something like that. So just purely like you were looking at that. So I was just doing an economic analysis, trying to see, you know, what are the other sources, what are they selling for, et cetera, just to get a frame of reference, get my head wrapped around it.
Hmm.
And that golden retriever's puppy sign that I pass, every now and then when I'm driving
Yeah.
around Oxford. I'm like, it sounds fun, Zach seems like he has a pretty cool dog going. So, um, but no, I can't afford it right now for sure. So no, cool, good update.
Yeah. I have a question for you
Yeah,
if that's
please hit
cool.
me. Mm-hmm.
25-year-old man, you
Oh,
just took your first exam
yeah,
in like what, 4 years, 3 years?
yeah, yeah.
How did that go?
3 years.
We didn't really talk about that at
It
all.
was, yeah, no, I appreciate it. I mean, I guess it was technically my second exam, right? Like I had already taken the cat in
Yeah,
August. And so I will say though, totally different vibes. Like I
really.
for the cat, the 2 days before, like I think maybe I already talked about it, but there wasn't too much stress about knowing things. It was just stress about like performing,
Right.
if that makes sense.
Yeah.
Whereas this one, it was like, do I know the right things for the exam?
Oh, wow.
Because the cat, I took a long time to study for, right? So I had, months, and time to get my head around what I need to know and what I don't know, yada, yada, yada. Whereas this one, I was just being I know that's the unfortunate thing is, and I can go on, a long rant about this, but I also do feel myself sliding a little bit, sliding back into college,
Yeah.
old college, what do you call it? Behaviors. Like,
Habits.
yeah, okay. For example, out of nowhere on Saturday, I just decided to re-download a sports betting app. And so
Oh,
I'm back
whoa.
on sports betting. And I'm like a
Whoa.
little disappointed in myself. I'm like, what am I doing? And I think it's just purely out of like, I guess I would say boredom. I don't know,
Mhm.
maybe boredom, but it's just unfortunate. Like there's, I think that's the most like maybe I don't want to call it worst. I feel like I've definitely got other behaviors that I'm coming back to, just like in terms of laziness and procrastination. But But for example, like that, like I'm totally sliding. So, anyways, going back to the exam and bad behaviors, I
Hmm.
like put off studying for this thing. I had plenty of time to do it. I was a little cocky because the one thing I had been doing was the reading. Like I remember in college or like undergrad when a reading assignment was assigned, there's like a 30% chance I was actually gonna, sit down and like try to read it. Like I was just gonna,
Yeah, I'd say
last
it's
second
probably.
be like, okay, do I need to leave a comment? Let me just leave this like crappy little comment or whatever.
Mhm.
Sorry, but go ahead and cut your
I was gonna say like I've probably done a reading 0 times unless I had to talk about it in class.
Right,
If it was,
exactly.
yeah.
If I knew I was gonna have to
So
talk
thirty
about it
percent,
or something, so
30% is way better than my batting average. So,
but this time I had done all the readings. Like I was definitely a very engaged student
hmm.
in that sense. So I'm proud of that um improvement. But in terms of studying, I totally put it off until the last second. It was exam was on Thursday and I was, trying to make flashcards still like Wednesday night, like convincing myself that I was going to be ready. And so it actually really did end up, it ended up not being too bad. But it's the same thing that happened again, bad behavior. I mean, I had it in the working world too for the past 3 years. But anytime that there's something coming up, I get into my head so much about like, oh, this is just going to be the worst thing ever. So like for example, if I had to, write a 8D report, as a quality engineer and the due date was coming up for that or like the deadline, like boss wanted to see it on his desk by Friday, whatever.
Hmm.
And the Thursday night or the Thursday before submitting it, I'd be just like totally in my head, be like, this is just terrible. Like, what am I doing? This sucks. I'm not gonna. And then I turn it in and it'd be like, good job. I like this. And then he'd like point out, and it'd be done. And then I'd be like, oh, that wasn't so bad. And so I'm
Hmm.
still like, I don't know if I'll ever grow out of that. I hope I do, but basically, I was still in that mindset. Like Wednesday night, I was just like total unnecessary panic about this exam is going to be, stupid hard. They're going to ask stupid questions, and then I get to the exam, I do the exam, and I'm like, oh no, I know all this stuff because I, did all that. I did all the reading and everything. So, anyways, good things, bad things. I've got some improvements on awake. Unfortunately, I kind of screwed myself because I've also got an exam tomorrow. And
Oh,
so I didn't study in advance for that one either because I was too busy cramming for this other exam. And then I put everything else off because I was cramming for this other exam until Friday, Saturday. So then I barely had any time to study. So it's just like a terrible cycle that I got myself into. But I think after tomorrow, I won't have a reset button, but after tomorrow, I'll be able to kind of, get back on the horse. I'll
hmm.
still be behind in the race, but I'll be back on my horse. So,
Yeah.
um,
Were you more nervous about the
anyways,
first exam because it was first, or was it harder than the exam you're going to take tomorrow?
no, I'm nervous about tomorrow's exam.
Oh, okay. Well,
I think I definitely know less because I've been, and that's the thing that makes me a little bit nervous about tomorrow's
hmm.
exam is I've been less engaged in this class. And so I'm like, and so again, like it's back to building it all up in my head. I'm like, telling myself, "Oh, you've been less engaged, and you started late. Like you're totally done. You're screwed." And knock on wood, I'm sure I get to the exam tomorrow, and it's gonna be like not the end of the world. You know what I mean?
Hmm.
So, anyways,
I
hopefully that
mean,
answered your question.
yeah, yeah. It's funny because freshman year of college, I was really into studying. I wanted to do a good job, and the further I went down college, the less I cared about getting good grades.
Yeah,
The less I would just, for exams in freshman year, I would study a week in advance just to make sure I got everything. And by the end of it, it was maybe the day of,
yeah,
the night before, and then not look at it until I take the exam. I don't know if that was because the major changed. I'm sure it was part of that.
yeah,
But and like when I got to grad school, right when I started, I was saying, all right, we're gonna nail these classes. We're starting a lot in advance.
yeah.
And then by the last semester, I was just thinking, I do I even need to study? I'll figure it out. I'll make it to the end. What are they gonna do? Kick me out?
What are they gonna do? Yeah, yeah, exactly. I mean, it's easy to get degrees, it's true. But again, like I don't know. I convinced myself before and I've convinced myself now that, I need to do the best of the best of the best so that I can, get a good shot on applications. Because
Mhm.
obviously my goal is to apply to medical school. So I mean, I'm assuming they'll take these grades into account as well. So,
Yeah, probably.
I did feel that way, or I thought I was gonna feel that way, but then I was like, no, you can't really slack off. Or like I was kind of in the mindset of like, well, I'll just pass. And then
Mhm.
I'll still get a master's, but then I'm like, that's probably a bad route. So
Yeah.
I will in one day I'll take a class. It'll be, a supplementary class. I'll just be taking it for, work or something like that. And I won't care. I'll be okay getting a C and it'll feel so nice. Oh, I
Hmm.
kind of did that. I took that. Did you know I took like an intro to videography class at
Yeah,
Washtenaw
at the
Community
community college.
College?
Yeah,
Yeah, but then okay, embarrassing. I dropped out, but that
that's
was
not
on me. I
embarrassing.
it's kind of embarrassing to
Well, it's
drop a.
embarrassing if you were failing out of the class. You just
Oh, yeah,
stopped
I guess
doing it.
so. That's true. I kind of gave up on it because it was kind of relatively cheap and um like again, it sounds bad, but I just didn't feel like maybe that's my problem is I need to convince myself that I need to do well, otherwise I won't feel like doing the work. Because in going into that class, I was definitely thinking like, oh, I don't need to do well. Like it's just intro to videography. I'm just taking, pass fail. And then like I
Right.
was just so uninterested in doing, the assignments that I got like way behind. I was like, "Nah, I'm just gonna drop this course. I mean, it doesn't mean anything. So,
Yeah, it's not
but
gonna affect
okay.
anything. So
One day I will go back. I will take that videography
really,
course and
really, you're gonna
I will
do it?
stay in it and I will get the minimum passing grade. Mark my words.
Wow. Bold proclamation, sweeping declaration from Johnny over
Sweeping
here.
declaration from Johnny Westside over here. Um I had a bit of a scare this morning. To
Oh, what happened?
continue with the Johnny
Yes,
episode. This is a total Johnny takeover right now.
that's all right. I
But
love Johnny takeovers.
maybe that's my nickname, Johnny Takeovers.
Johnny
Um
Takeover. That's a
yeah.
cool name.
Um I was leaving. Okay, so again, like completely unnecessarily. Oh, I guess I've got two things. So, but we'll continue with the story real quick. Short story. Continue with the like unnecessary stress. I was all stressed out this morning about getting an assignment turned in and studying and reading and yada yada yada. And it was like, I got to make it, I want to make it out of my dorm at this time or excuse me, apartment at this time, make it to the building at this time so I can, have, my hour and a half before class to do this reading, do this, whatever, flashcards. Um, and as I'm leaving, I'm like, oh my God, where's my wallet? And I actually I did a pretty good search of the apartment. It's a little bit embarrassing, but I was like tearing up my drawers. I was looking through my laundry hamper. I was like going through everything. I did like a really in-depth search of my apartment. And then I was like, okay, time out. I know one thing to be true, or I know, my path. I know my path from yesterday. And I had left this building and I had paid for parking with my credit card, which again, I was pissed that I had to pay for parking. It was a Sunday. It's ridiculous. Why am I
What?
paying for parking? Yeah. And it was
Really?
$6. Six
You're
dollars.
joke. Where'd you park in
I,
that
just
towards
at a university lot. I
that
felt
is
I felt taken advantage
ridiculous.
of. I know. And I was pissed. I was like, it's Sunday. There was no other car in that. I was like the only car in that lot. And the gate was closed. I was like, are you shitting me?
Wow.
This is stupid. So, anyways, I had to pay for that with my credit card. I went right from there to a soccer field. And so at the soccer field was surely the last place that I possibly could have had it. And so after the soccer field, I came back. I had to go to the leasing office and then I came back to my apartment. And so like I was, convinced that it wasn't in my apartment. I did the walkthrough from the leasing office. And again, like all the while, I'm like, I can't be wasting my time here. I'm trying to get to, class an hour and a half, yada yada. And it was just like again, it was like the most unnecessary panic. But the other I guess the almost the weirdly nice thing about it was I was in such a panic that when I found it, I found my wallet. It was in the car. It was in a like a slit. It was like had
Oh, it was
fallen,
yeah.
between the things. And when I had found it, the like I don't even know what it is, but the dopamine rush, the release, the relief. I want to change that feeling because that felt so good to be like, oh, it's here. Because
hmm
otherwise I've got like three credit cards in there. I've got, my state ID in there. I've got all this crap in there. And I'd just be like, ah, it would have been devastating. Again, knock on wood, I have not lost my wallet yet. I've lost an ID, not my state ID, my student ID. I've lost that before. Um, and that's not a fun feeling. Holy
No.
cow, that is not a fun feeling. So, anyways, okay. And then my other thing that I thought of while telling that story is my dreams within the past few weeks have been crazy vivid. I guess I can't tell you anything right now specific, but like I've been dreaming like crazy, and there've been some wild dreams. Oh man, there was definitely no Sama dream in there, and I forget what it
Oh, no
was.
way.
I forget
Oh,
what it was, but it was a good one. And like I don't think they're not ones that I can control, right?
they're not like lucid dreams.
Yeah, they're not lucid dreams, but they're eerily believable. I think
Okay.
that's what's been like messing me up is like I'll wake up and I'll be like, man, I dreamed last night, and I think like it'll be like a weird eerie feeling of like I'll have these memories, and at first I'll be like I won't recognize it as a dream. I'll recognize it as something that actually happened to me. It's
hmm
like a weird feeling. I don't know if you've ever had that before, but I'll be like, and then I'll like slowly convince myself and be like, wait, there's no way. Like, because like for example, I'll have been married and I'll be like,
hmm
wait, I haven't been married before. Like that was a dream. That was a dream. And
Oh,
so it's just
yeah.
like I've had those dreams, and it's been interesting. I think it's because I've been like eating before I've been going to bed. I've been like eating cereal. I've been eating like just other snacks before going to bed. And I think that I mean I don't know if that's an old wives' tale, but I always feel like that makes you dream more.
I feel like I've read somewhere it's like sugar before bed makes you go crazy, or
Yeah,
some drink makes you go crazy before bed.
I believe that. Old Aaron too. Um, she used to say that apple juice would make you
Apple
dream
juice, maybe
crazy
that's what I
before
was
going to
thinking
bed.
of.
I tried that a couple times, and I agreed. Like her hypothesis was correct. I had some crazy dreams after drinking apple juice. Yeah,
hmm
before going to bed.
But
Um,
I totally agree. Not too long ago, I think probably right before you
Female
left.
Aaron. I was trying to think of the
Oh,
nickname.
you're
I
trying to be
forgot
female,
they
Aaron?
called her female, right? It wasn't that.
I figured you meant Aaron. When you said Aaron too, I was like, he doesn't mean Kaplan for sure. It definitely
No,
means
definitely
female
not Cat.
Aaron.
Yeah, female Aaron. There we go. Got
But
it. All
like
right. Sorry. There we go.
that's right. Right before you left, I had a dream, and in the dream, Ned said he didn't like me,
Oh
and
no.
I woke up and I was like, well, screw Ned. What did I do? And then I was thinking about it. I'm like, why doesn't he like me? What did he give me the reason for? And I think of the reason, and I was like, oh, in the dream.
Oh, sorry. You cut
So
out. You
I
cut
had
out.
fully convinced myself. Oh, I did. Sorry.
Yep.
Um, but I was trying to convince myself, like, I was trying to tell myself, what did I do? Why does Ned hate me? And then I realized, oh, it was a dream. That didn't happen at all. So I started thinking about what I did.
Yeah. Yeah. What could I possibly
But
done?
for a full like 5 minutes, I was just thinking, what did I do to Ned? Why does he is he gonna move out? Are we not gonna be friends anymore? So it's weird how realistic dreams can be.
Yeah. It's bizarre.
Are
It's
you a big fan
crazy.
of hearing other people's dreams?
No.
Oh, you're not. Okay.
Okay. I mean, like, I know that sounds bad, and this is gonna sound worse, but like, kind of low key only if I'm in them. And I think that's just I think I think it's just kind of universal though. I don't know. Are you a big fan? But I just feel like it's kind of tough because I also find myself when telling other people my dream, like it's like the old classic saying, like you try to tell someone else your dream, and right halfway through it, you're like, yeah, this sucks. This story just absolutely sucks. But I don't know. Do
Um,
you find it enjoyable hearing other people's dreams?
I do. I like seeing what goes on in their mind when they're not there.
Yeah.
But obviously the story's got to be entertaining. If we're talking
Right.
about going to Meyer and just purchasing fruit. I don't want to hear
Yeah.
that, man. That's just another day. But if something like we were at Meyer purchasing fruit and Gandalf and Bigfoot stopped by, that I want to hear that. That's fun. So just like that's what I'm saying. I was disappointed you didn't have your dreams with you because I would have loved to have
I
heard
know.
them.
I know. I should have written them down. And I think like I had written a note and I was like, why did I write that note? But I think the reason I wrote that note was to remind myself if I do dream again to write it
Write it
down.
down.
And yeah, hopefully um bring it up. But obviously I screwed that up. Um man, I swear I had
Would
one other
you
topic,
would you get
but
like
I don't.
would you get like a dream journal or would you write it in your phone?
I'd probably just write it in my phone. Do you use the journal app at all in the phone?
Like the Notes app
No, no, there's a new app.
on iOS
It was
18?
released. No, it was iOS 17. I think it was last year.
Oh,
They released it's just called Journal. And they've edited it a little bit. It was pretty bare bones last year, but now they kind of do some statistics where like entries this year, words written, days journal. You haven't
there
seen
is a
that
journal
before.
app in here. No,
Yeah.
never seen that before. That's correct.
Yeah, I
Where
think
is
it
it?
came last year. I think it came last year.
Oh, there it is. I have a little folder in my phone that says stuff I should delete,
Yeah.
and it's
That's part of
like,
it.
yeah, it's like stocks, pages, like the iTunes store,
Yeah.
like
Do
stuff
you
that should
not
be on the phone. But
do you like I have the setting turned on where it offloads an inactive app. So like the icon is
oh,
there, but it's not
hmm
actually downloaded. Do you do that too?
oh, interesting. No,
Okay. I'd
that's
recommend
something I
that.
should look forward to.
Yeah, clear some space up. And,
Yeah.
I don't know. I've kind of only used it for like pocket planes. Like I'll see pocket planes and I'll be like, oh yeah, pocket planes. I'll re-download it, play it for a couple days, forget about it for 2 months, and then come back. Which
Oh,
my pocket
nice.
planes is doing pretty well.
Oh, good, good,
I've
good.
got
Did you play that game in middle school? I feel like
level
I was
37. Oh yeah.
there's
I've been playing this for a long time. I've got a screenshot from I deleted it. I deleted my OG airline though.
oh no.
Yeah, I know. So I deleted at level 22. So this was back in the day. This was October 31st, 2014. So 10 years,
Whoa.
10 years
Wow.
almost.
Crazy.
I was level 22. Now I'm level 37, almost at level 38. Um, and I like the stats. I appreciate the stats that it gives you. There are some fun stats in there for sure. So, anyways, also they updated Pocket Planes like 2 years ago, year ago. I don't like the update. It's just not good. I don't know.
I
It's weird. So,
I don't like the iOS 18 update.
oh yeah, me
I
neither
don't
so far.
the
There's a,
photos is just
oh,
so I hate it so
I
much.
hate it too. It's disgusting.
That's really my only big beef with it, but I mean, I miss the old iOS.
Not gonna lie, I agree. I wish I wouldn't have upgraded to
Yeah.
18. I wish I would have just kept it at 17. I will say there are a couple like motion or like, graphical effects that maybe I just didn't update or like I hadn't turned them on and it automatically turned them on for me now or something like that. But those are nice. I don't know how to describe them, but like just like when I'm swiping out of apps or across the page, like it seems to be a little bit smoother. But
Hmm.
yeah, I agree. I don't like the photos. There was one other app that kind of sucked. I forget. Oh, Apple Music, the new Apple Music. The
Oh, they
not
changed to
the
Apple Music?
no, it's pretty much the same, but the queuing system's a little bit different, and I don't like the new queuing system. Um,
What is it
they should have just
now?
left it. It's now a little bit more, and this is funny, but it's now a little bit more like SoundCloud. Like there's, add to queue and all this stuff, whereas
Oh,
it
instead of
used to be
just
like play next, play later.
hmm
And then just again, like the like touching, like bringing up the queue and all this stuff was a lot easier. Now you have to like hit to scroll on this thing. You have to really hit it in the proper spot. It's just obnoxious.
Oh, wow.
But I mean, I don't know. That's that's my other squirrely beef, I suppose. But yeah, no, I don't like the Photos app and oh, the settings. I kind of don't like the settings. I understand why they did it, but they put the apps in its own little bar.
Yeah, yeah.
I don't know.
Jake was showing me that.
Not a huge fan of that. Um,
Yeah. So this is like when, do you remember I can't remember what iOS it was, but it was like the photo album was a flower, but it
Yeah.
was like the blue in, as like a sunflower.
I think I know what you're talking about. Like it was like the first like crazy
Yes.
big overhaul to the whole like
Yeah. Like the
graphical
original, like
design.
exactly. The original
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
iOS when upgrading from that to what it was before
Yeah, that was
was
crazy.
I was upset with that too. And I remember looking up how do I go back? How do I delete an iOS and go back?
Yeah, right.
And they're like, you can't unless you want to lose
Can't.
everything. I'm like, well, I don't want
Sorry.
to lose everything. So
Like the old YouTube app
yeah, that's
symbol.
exactly what I
Lost
wanted.
that one.
Brian did that. Brian didn't update his phone for such a long time
Just to keep it that way.
just to keep it that way because he liked it.
Ah. I
Eventually, he
think,
evolved.
God, I want to say, no, I don't. I was going to say, I think maybe I still have an old iPhone 4. I wonder if I could activate it, but I don't think I do. I think I've got an old
Mm.
iPhone 8. But I feel like that in the future, I wonder if, I guess I don't, okay, maybe the analogy is like music players. So like
Hmm.
obviously our parents had like record players and then 8 tracks and then all this other stuff and like and then CDs came out, but then they also had, different like radios in the car and stuff like that. All that just like over my head. I'm like, what's the difference I mean, obviously I know like the low key difference, but like it seems to have such meaning for them when these
Yeah.
various things came out. I wonder if that's going to be the same thing for us in like iOS. Like our kids are going to be like, why the hell did our parents care so much about iOS 18? Or something like that.
Uh-huh. That's a funny comparison.
Because
Um,
I mean, I'm trying to think of other like iPhones, obviously, and maybe that'll be a thing too. It'll be like we'll have some future technology, and people will be like, "Why did they buy a new iPhone every like? Why did they come out with a new iPhone every year? That's just
yeah.
crazy."
You remember when like the iPhone 4 when the charging block took up like the entire bottom part of your phone?
Yeah. Yeah, I've got like the old iPod Nano. I bought like I to just
Oh,
like
that's
throw
right.
back
Yeah, yeah.
nostalgia. I bought like an old iPod Nano. I bought the charger, and yeah, that thing is massive.
It's chunky. Oh, I do appreciate they made the charger smaller.
Yeah,
Maybe
yeah, the
maybe
lightning
that'll be something
connector
we
was
talk
good.
about too.
Yeah, yeah, maybe. I mean, they'll probably talk about the age of the lightning connector for sure because it was, again, it was like Apple had the hold on everyone. See, okay, that's the other thing, messages.
Hmm.
Everything's like SMS now. I don't like the new heart, the thumbs up, thumbs down, haha, emphasize. I
Yeah,
liked the old one,
I did
better,
too.
just the plain, the vanilla. And then
Hmm.
the video player it's a little different. It's not terrible, but like when someone sends you a video and you play it now, that's different.
Hmm.
Um, but anyways, yeah, the age of the lightning connector, because now everything is just USB-C, right?
Yep.
So I'm kind of looking forward to that. Like I don't know, I need to save up to get a new phone because my phone keeps giving me like false positives on water in the charging port. I'm like,
Oh,
there's
really?
no water. Yeah, it keeps telling me it can't charge. But like again, thankfully over the summer, I got for my birthday one of those wireless chargers.
Yeah,
So
yeah.
I've just been using that when I can't charge through the wireless connector. But and then maybe that's the future. And I kind of like it. I kind of like the wireless charger, like just having the little coin cell on the back. It's so easy. I don't know why, but it's just a lot less distracting than having it come out of the bottom of the phone. Don't ask me
Mhm.
why. It just is. I just like it better. So, um, anyways, that's Apple review, Apple
Apple
review
review.
segment,
Tech Boys.
Tech Boys segment.
Um, there's
Other
one thing I kind of
big,
wanted to talk
other
about.
big
Oh,
things. Yeah, go for it.
do you have something?
No, no, I was just trying to
Oh,
think.
I have something I wanted to talk about.
Yeah, yeah, please do.
So you knows about me, but I do this funny thing. It's not funny at all, but I overbook myself with events
Yeah.
so often, and this weekend was
Just funny little thing.
this funny little
No, it's
terrible
not
quality
terrible.
about myself.
Oh, no,
I
no, it's not terrible. It's not terrible at all.
I have a hard time saying no to when people say, "Hey, do you want to get dinner? You want to
Yeah.
hang out?" I have a hard time saying no to people, and so I said Saturday and Sunday. I said yes to three things on each day, so six things in total, but three things on each
Oh
day.
my gosh.
that were basically the exact same time every single time. So on Friday night, I had some people who were going to spend the night at the house.
Okay.
I was getting dinner
Friend, like
with
high school or tubas or
the two of us.
tubas?
Yeah. Um, I was getting dinner with my cousins because Alex came back in town,
Yep. Saw
and
that in
then
Be Real.
some of my frat bros want to go to Top Golf
All on Friday night.
all on Friday night, and so the way I was picturing it was like, okay, I don't know when the tours are getting here, but I think it'll be around 7:30. So maybe I can go to Top Golf from 7 to 7:30
Yeah.
and then let the tubas in at 7:30, hang out with them until 8, go to dinner with Alex and Lauren at 8, come back to the house and at like 9 and then we'll be all set.
Yeah.
It didn't happen at all. I cannot leave a place on time. That's just not going to happen. I know it's not going to happen and I still screw myself up.
You
So I
have
was
all
late.
these great qualities that just conflict with each other. Like
Yeah.
you're such a fun hang. No one wants
Oh,
you to leave,
stop it.
and then
Don't
you try to
don't
leave, you
turn
try to
this
leave, and yeah.
don't turn this
No,
into
we're
a
spin
positive.
zoning this for sure.
We're
This
not
is a
spinning this.
positive.
This
We are
is
spin zoning it.
I
It's
have
an
to work on
admirable
this.
quality. I mean, yes, it's. I think maybe the overarching cool part about it is like I think it's cool that a lot of people want to hang out with you and spend time with you. Right?
Hmm.
Positive. That's good. Good thing. But yeah, no doubt, it's. I'm sure it's tough to say no to all those things. But yeah, I guess just working on, um, and you can. I feel like you can make two things happen.
Yeah.
But
I
three things you're definitely starting to push it, especially Top Golf. That's like a half hour away.
I know. But like the thing in my head is this I should just be honest and say I have something at this time. Can we
Yeah.
do this
Yep.
time? But instead I'll just say I'll make it and then I'm late and I feel bad because I feel like I'm wasting their time. I'm being disrespectful of their time.
Yeah.
And it's just like, what am I doing? Just be honest, Zach. And then this dude, so that happened Friday night. On Saturday, the exact same thing happened. I didn't learn my lesson at all. I went to Canada to visit some family friends,
Yeah.
and I was like, all right, I'm leaving at 3:30 because Alex and Lauren want to see the dog, or they want to meet Penny. So I'll leave at 3:30, be home at 5, and then I'm just going out with some friends from high school on Saturday night. So I was like, all right, and then so we'll hang out from 5 to 7, and then at 7 I'll head over to my friend's house, and then we'll have a good night. And I was like, that works out great in my mind. So I was supposed to leave at 3:30 at Canada, and then I ended up leaving at 5:30. And then
Much too late.
the border, I got screwed. I went in the absolute worst lane possible. It took 35 minutes for like three cars to get through, and then me.
Oh wow. I
Oh, the
wonder,
board.
so Border coming back Saturday night from Canada to Michigan. I wonder why that would be so crowded.
It wasn't.
I guess, oh, it wasn't. Oh,
No, there were
they were just
three.
slowing it down.
They were just slowing it down.
Oh
There
wow.
was a minivan. I don't know if they had weapons, but dude, it took that one minivan took probably 20 minutes.
Jeez, oh
And there were like
man.
lanes to the left and right of me. I was just seeing them. I was seeing cars move forward. I was like, if I would have gone in that lane originally, I'd be in front of them.
Yeah.
I would have been gone. I would have been done 15 minutes ago. So I ended up getting to my house late, and then I had to postpone Alex and Lauren, and so I felt like I was just disrespecting their time because I kept pushing it back because I was late,
Hmm.
and then I had to push back hanging out with the other person way later, and so it was just a mess. And I want to say I've learned my lesson, but I know for a fact I'm gonna do it again, which is terrible. I should
That's
again just it's an
that's human
addiction.
nature. Yeah, I
It's
don't
an
know.
addiction, man. I
It's
c-
human
you
nature. It's
know what the
tough.
worst part is?
What?
There's nothing wrong with saying I might be a little late. What's
Yeah.
wrong with that?
No,
There's nothing wrong with that.
I think you were spot on when you said like, "Hey, I won't be able to come. I won't like I can't do this time, but I can do this time." Like I think that's that's step one is just at least making sure the events don't overlap.
And I
And then
just I
yeah,
just don't know.
open communication
Yeah.
is big too. Just so that like if you can't, yeah, like you said, like if you can't make it at 5, don't be like, I'm gonna be there at 5. Be like, yeah, I'm got caught up at Top Golf. I'll be there 30 minutes. Sorry guys. Something
Hmm.
like that. Um,
So that's that. I just wanted to
or
not,
I don't know, like yeah, go for it. Sorry.
I don't know what the word is. Like, I don't want to say complain about because I'm complaining about my own stupid mistake. Vent about, I
No,
just want
no.
to, I want to be better. I want to be
You,
better.
yeah,
And
don't we all? That's what life's all about. You want to be better. Just be better every day.
and
And
I
I
kind of
know
did
it
it.
sucks. I know exactly what you're talking about, where you like you do something and then you don't do it the next time and you're like, didn't I just learn that?
Yep.
What like what's wrong with me? Why haven't I learned my lesson?
I'm doing the exact same thing I said not to do. And
I,
then I almost did it on Sunday too. But I managed that time a lot better, but I
good,
almost did it again.
good. Yeah.
So,
No, it's tough. I mean, okay, again, like I don't know if I've popped out this quote to you, but I did, an audio book. I was listening to it as I was driving into work over the past year, and it was okay. There were definitely some good insights, I think, but it was called Principles by Ray Dalio. He's like this finance guy, Bridgewater, billionaire, whatever. Um, and I enjoyed it. Like I actually there were a couple audiobooks I listened to before him where I was just like, "Oh God, this person like me just
mhm.
loves to listen to themselves talk." You know what I mean? And so like I like they were just so hard to listen to and they just seemed so into themselves and all this stuff. Whereas I kind of liked Ray Dalio's like he was a little bit into himself, just a little bit, but not enough to make it annoying. And I think he was also humble enough at the same time, like had some very, like humble views that you could withstand it. It was just really long. It was like I don't know. It was super, super long audiobook. I was just getting sick of it. So like halfway through, I was just like, I give up. It was interesting, but not this interesting. So, anyways, that's my review of Ray Dalio Principles. Didn't finish it, but there were a couple of good things. But his quote is, which I kind of like to think back on, and it's kind of inspiring, right? Because this guy, this billionaire guy, is admitting he does the same exact thing. He said, I would make many, many other mistakes before I changed my behavior enough.
Wow.
So basically, it's just human nature. Like even the billionaires aren't able to correct themselves perfectly after doing something wrong. And I wonder if maybe that stems, our desire to get it right the next time stems from like sports. Because like football, like as a linebacker, you're running this scheme. You have to, and you're right, you're a linebacker. You're running a
Yeah.
defensive scheme. You know these things. You know how to read the offense or whatever. And like you make a mistake, you're like, damn it, I shouldn't have. I don't know. I shouldn't have pushed, or like I should have just stayed. I don't know. I don't have a good example as a linebacker. Maybe you can come up with something, but your coach yells at you and he's like, "Don't do it again." And then you don't. Maybe you do, but like the very next time you definitely don't because you're going to get chewed out. Whereas I think there's no one there but yourself in this scenario
Yeah.
to yell at yourself to say don't do it again. And then the only person that's holding you accountable is yourself. And so it's just so easy to be like to let that slip. Whereas again, like when you have a coach or other teammates that you're working with, like and it affects them and like you give up a touchdown or whatever, and you're like, don't do that shit again.
Hmm.
You're not doing that shit again. So at least not immediately again. Maybe in a couple games you forget again. But I don't know. That's my hypothesis.
Yeah. I need to hire somebody to tell me to stop doing it.
Life coach.
I need a life coach
Oh,
or something.
I can call you out, Zach.
You
Just give
have
me
before.
the
Let's
just give me the
wait.
give me the blessing. But no, again, like I think going back to last week when I said like, or maybe it was 2 weeks ago when I said like I also just find it very inspiring that you're so willing to do these things and to have all these opportunities because like it's for times like right now where I'm like like, and not to sound sad, I'm not that sad, but like where I am alone, I don't have that
Hmm.
many friends. I don't have people inviting me out. I don't have, the birdhouse to be like just automatic Friday night, rock on third, let's just go.
Hmm.
Um, it's times like these where I like look back and I'm like, I should have just like pulled a Zach and said yes to everything.
Um, it's not as glamorous as it seems, man. You're gonna miss a lot of times you say yes, it's not gonna go great. But and like again, like the best moments are when things aren't planned. I know we talk about this a
Yeah.
lot, but do
I will say though, I think you do a good job. I mean, for the most part, you know, okay, I guess you do a good job for how many times it happens. You've at least I feel like gotten somewhat good at making it work. Every now and then we expect a Zach Jennings appearance, we don't get one. It's like, it sucks, but at the same time, we know we're gonna get like 10 more opportunities because all we have to do is ask and he's gonna say yes. So like it's just a numbers game. It's Zach. Like it may not have happened this time, but we're gonna see him again soon for
nine
sure.
times out of 10, I'm there. I don't know. I again, I think comes back to me not liking to say no. Because if somebody is willing
Hmm.
to spend their time with me, I'm appreciative of that.
Yeah. Yeah, I
So,
know that it's honorable. It's honorable for
and
sure.
I just gotta. So in a way, I kind of want to not say no more, but I want to be better with if something is like for example, I have a wedding next Sat or this upcoming Saturday,
Yeah.
and my
Shout out
dad,
Isaac.
shout out Isaac, and this part's kind of sad, but it's fine. So, and then this Saturday we're also burying my grandpa,
Oh,
because so
wow.
he died like 8 years ago, but we just had his
Oh.
he just had we've had his ashes in our closet for like 8 years.
Oh, okay. I was
So
waiting for that story to develop.
yeah,
That was it.
yeah,
That was funny. I was interjecting too much, but that
uh-huh.
was funny. It was like, we're gonna bury my grandfather. I was gonna be like, oh man, when did he pass? And then you're like 8 years ago. I was like,
Yeah.
oh, and then you're like, and we've got his ashes. Oh, so sorry. Don't mean to interrupt it. That was just funny story arc. Not funny.
But mhm.
Unfortunate. Sad. Sorry.
No,
Sorry
I
for your
know,
loss.
but it was funny. He was in the closet for 8 years. My dad made that joke so many times. Like, oh, Grandpa's been in the closet for 8 years. Um,
Is this
but
dad's dad or mom's dad?
dad's dad,
Dad's dad. Right on.
and so I feel bad. I'm not going to be able to go, but
Yeah.
because I didn't know about it until like it was Friday of last week.
Oh, okay. Well, that's not
And
your fault. You've
I
known this
know,
wedding
but
for months.
but if I had more time to, if I heard or if I knew this was happening like 2 months ago, I the wedding doesn't start till like 5 or something, so I could have gone to. I'm sure I could have texted Isaac and been like, "Hey man, we're burying my grandpa. Is it okay if I come? If I don't do some of the groomsmen duties, like help set up or anything.
Oh, right.
Like
Sure,
I'd be
sure.
there for like the important stuff, but I would at least wanted to have, or I would have like asked my dad to change the time to a little bit earlier.
Yeah, yeah.
Um, but so I feel bad I'm not able to go on Saturday. I don't know what the point of that was. I think it was maybe it was I was giving I can't remember why I
Maybe
brought
like
that up.
prior. I don't know. You're trying to say like I want to be better at something and you couldn't get it out. So you're giving this example.
Hmm.
Because I was gonna say like, are you saying like you're trying to prioritize a little bit more
Maybe,
or
maybe. Shoot, I had a point to this. I swear I had a point to this.
open communication? Because that's maybe that was seemed to be another theme of that story is like
Hmm.
if he had just known or
Yeah.
if you had been like had just texted a little bit earlier, maybe it would have been okay, something like that.
Hmm. Maybe also like in this situation, I can't. There's nothing I can do.
Yeah, this is definitely different. This is hands are bound. So
Hands are tied. So I think maybe because this is happening, maybe I'll be better because I
okay.
missed kind of a big thing. Maybe I'll be like, all right, well, I mean, I'm miss that and it's gonna suck, but it's not the end of the world. Life still goes
Okay.
on.
Yeah, I see what you're
Maybe
saying.
I think that's what I was trying to say.
Hmm.
Not to say I'm gonna like start missing things on purpose, but I think having priorities and what's important would be the difference maker with doing stuff.
Okay.
So I'm gonna leave that to Russ. That's the last thing I'm gonna say about it.
Yeah.
Um, I'll be better, and I hope I mean that.
This is coming out to all of our viewers. Hold Zach accountable. Zach will be better. Mark his
Tell me,
sweeping declaration.
sweeping declaration, I will be
Zach will
better.
be
Plus,
better.
also, I was so stressed because I was just pushing everybody else's time back,
Yeah.
and I felt bad. So I'm going forward. You know what? Yeah, we'll leave it at that. I'm gonna do my best to be better,
Leaving it at
and
that.
I will be disappointed in myself if this upcoming weekend or next weekend I triple book myself and I fail again.
Yeah.
I'm gonna have to talk to me. I'm
You're gonna
so
have to sit down.
someone's gonna have
Look
to
in that
yell at me.
mirror right behind you. Just take a
Hmm.
real good long look.
Hey, stop that. All right, good. All right.
I
That's
will
everything I
say
had. Yeah,
one
go.
thing that I think is kind of funny. I don't know why I think it's funny, but I think it's fun to do, at least for the Jennings family parties, is like the 4th of July party. I don't know. I love showing up late to that. I don't know why, but it's just so much fun to get there right when the food's getting out. Just be like, "Oh yeah." 'Cause like this year, I don't know, this year when I was like I guess there's something fun about like the rush to kind of squeeze it all in. Maybe that's a little bit of why it keeps sticking. I don't like
Hmm.
because again, it's a little bit different, but like 4th of July this year. I mean, again, I was unemployed this year, so what did I have to do? Like nothing. I could have easily been there like 2 o'clock, no problem. But I decided to do all this. I forget exactly what I did that day, but I think I had just maybe I was at home. I think maybe I did some studying, but then I was like going for a run and all this stuff, and so there is kind of something fun and exciting about like trying to squeeze in a couple things. But it kind of depends on what they are. Like going for a run, growing. I don't know. There's something fun, I guess, trying to. I don't know where I'm going with this, but about trying to squeeze these things in. Maybe it's just like the relief of like once you get there, it's like done, it's past. You don't have to worry
Hmm.
about it anymore. Um,
No, I
and then
totally agree
maybe
with what you're
maybe
saying.
it's also like a little bit like there's like a feeling of achievement. It's like I did it. I mean, yeah, I'm late, but I got it. I made it happen. I saw
That's
those people. I went for the run. I said hi to my parents. I don't know, something like that. And I'm still here. So,
right. That's exactly what I was gonna say. Like, I think in that situation in particular, you got all the hard stuff out of the way, and so you could just really enjoy
yeah.
being there, knowing you did a lot of stuff in the morning. Like, for example, the 4th of July, I was at my house the entire day, so
Yeah, yeah. You're
I
doing
was
like all the
I was
setup
doing the
and stuff.
exact same thing. I was just talking to people all day.
Hmm.
Whereas you got to talk to people, but it was in a more condensed time, so it felt a little bit more special, I think.
Maybe. Yeah, that could be it.
So I understand, and like maybe going forward. Well, I know, no, actually, no, I can't do that. I was gonna say maybe I learned to go for a run or do some reading before I go out. But then who knows? Maybe I'll get really interested in my book,
Yeah,
or
I
I'll
really do.
hit
Yeah.
my ankle and have to walk back, and I'll be late again.
No, no, yeah, I think it's noble, and I think, like you said, it just comes down to open communication
Hmm.
and kind of as a parallel again at at work. Um, I kind of found myself doing similar type things where people or my boss or whoever, I guess that would be the big thing is like my boss would ask me to do things, and then people that aren't my boss would ask me to do things, and then I wouldn't have that like heart to say no. Like I'd just be like, yeah,
Hmm.
I can do that, I can do that, I can do that, and then it all just piles up and builds up, and then like you just don't have like you keep pushing things off, and you know I don't know, you just don't have time to
Yeah.
do it all. So, um, but it's interesting. I find it hard to say no to people at work, but for some reason I have no problem being like, yeah, no, I don't feel like doing those social plans. So I guess I'm hoping on changing that um as well. So yeah, I don't know, any other recaps from last week. Nothing too crazy went down for me. I mean, Michigan won. That was a stressful game.
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
Um
We were in Canada listening on the radio because apparently they get like the
yeah.
exact same radio stations. I didn't know that. So we were listening
Yeah.
to it on the way home, and I was rooting against you, but
Yeah, I
I'm
know. I know.
glad you guys
I
won or
mean,
whatever.
in our little Michigan group chat, we were talking about that as well. It was like,
You have a Michigan group chat?
it's like me, Brian, and Gabe. And then
Oh,
David,
okay,
we've also
okay.
got one with David where like we'll send like a
Hmm.
million texts on game day and David's just in the chat. He doesn't say a single word. And then I feel so bad because like I mean, I send a lot of texts, but as a group,
Hmm.
we just send a lot of texts, and it's got to be a little bit annoying for David to be like, yeah, I don't care. I don't care about Michigan. And then he gets like 300 messages on game day.
Yeah.
Um, but
Whoa, okay.
but we were saying the same type of thing is, once Michigan won, it was like, okay, now on to Michigan State versus BC. Let's go BC. But the
Oh,
the
come
funny thing
on,
is
man.
like, I don't know. I would say I would say I don't actively root against Michigan State for the most part.
Hmm.
Obviously, in when it's Michigan State playing, or if you guys are getting a little too hot,
Right,
I
right, right.
usually I'll if you guys like, like same with 2021 when you guys were hot, you guys thought you were hot shit. It was like, all right, let's calm it down. Let's have someone beat Michigan State here. But I typically don't actively root against you, but it's just a lot more fun when Michigan State loses. You know what I
I
mean?
hate
Like
you. I hate
I
you.
don't
I
need
don't
don't
know what you mean.
necessarily need
It's
to
a
root
lie.
against you, but it's a lot more fun. It's,
I hate you, man. I
I can
hate
just
you.
sit there. It puts a little smile on my face. I mean, if Michigan State lost, or excuse me, if Michigan State won, I wouldn't be mad. I wouldn't be like, dang it, I really needed them to lose right there. It would just be like, oh, okay, shoot. But when Michigan State loses, it's like, oh, nice.
Your
Let's
dumb
go.
little smirk when you say that is bothering me. No, I'm joking. Dude, Brian jinxed us on Saturday, so I'm blaming the loss 100% on him.
Yeah, what did he say? I forget. He said something.
Dude,
Shoot. Yeah, he did say something.
he so it was like we were driving down the field in like the fourth quarter. There's not a lot of time left, so we were driving, and Brian texts me, Childs looks legit. Must be nice to have a QB.
Oh,
Saying because Michigan's quarterback isn't gret. And then the
yeah.
very next play, he throws a pick and the
That's when
game's
that was
over.
the intersection.
And he was like, he said, I'm so sorry. Child's generational drive here to put him in Heisman conversation.
Did
And
he send that to you one on one? Because he
yeah,
also sends. Okay.
he texted me one on one.
Okay. Because he said something about jinxing trials too to the
Oh, he
the
did? Oh,
Michigan group
okay.
chat. Yeah.
Dude, it couldn't have been more like movie-esque. It was like, oh my gosh, he actually looks good. Oh, shoot. That's my bad. That
And he
one's
throws
on
it
me.
back.
And there's a pick and the game's over.
And the
So
game's
anyway,
over.
thanks, Brian.
Shout out Brian. Big dub for the boys. Um.
That's everything that's pretty much interesting that
Yeah.
happened
Yeah.
with
Yeah.
me.
I mean, nothing else. I obviously had my studying last week. Over the weekend, just did my thing. I'm reading Don Quixote. Um maybe that can be like a short segment, like weekly review of what I read. Maybe
We
like
reading?
bust out. I'm sure no one wants that now that I've just said that out loud, but I was gonna say like maybe I can bring
I
like
wasn't gonna
a
say it. I
I
wasn't
can
gonna
bring
say it.
like a quote, a fun quote.
Well, this is the thing. If it's interesting,
Yeah,
then
if
yeah,
it's
talk about it.
interesting.
It's same
I was
thing with
yeah.
dreams. If it's just oh man,
D- Dream of the week or
worked
something like
he
that.
worked in the 1800s and it was hard.
Yeah.
Like I don't want to hear that. But if he wrote a story about winning the lottery, I'd want to hear that.
Yeah. Yeah.
So
My favorite dream that I've remembered in still remember happened this year. It was with you and your future wife.
oh yeah, yeah,
I think that
yeah.
was maybe the most entertaining, and that was probably like one of the few dreams that you can tell to someone else and there's like actual value to telling it to them, you know.
Yeah.
Um but
Well, we'll see. We'll see if I can make it come true.
yeah, I hope so. I think you will. I mean, it's gonna happen. Like it I dreamed it, and then I
You dreamed
didn't
it.
Ned dream it too. Like, didn't he?
And
Or was
Ned
it
might have
you?
had something like that. No, no,
Was it
I
you
don't
that
think I
dreamed it?
did. Somebody
Okay,
else.
because I was gonna say once it was, I was like, once the third person in the birdhouse has a dream,
Mhm.
then it's going
Then
to
it's
happen.
destiny.
Man, I feel like I feel like we're leaving something on the table. Um, but what could it
I mean,
be? I don't
I got
know.
nothing. I have
Nothing
one quick
else.
thing.
Yeah.
I ended up seeing the frat brothers on Friday night, and I saw Vic.
Hmm.
Vic says hi to you.
Oh, sweet. Hi, Vic. How's it going? Hope you're doing well.
Vic
Hope
hopes
you're
you make it
killing
to
it.
med school.
Oh, thank you, Vic. I know we've got much differing opinions on that, right? Like
Hmm.
he's against it and all that. And I honestly like it was really interesting because I think we met for the first time like it was like last winter. And that was like
Hmm.
right the time that I was trying to decide if I wanted to, go full tilt. And he just like it was a great perspective. Like I'll never forget it. I thought he had an absolutely fantastic perspective on it. And um and it wasn't like I don't know, sometimes for me I feel like it's easy to get offended. um I don't know, it sounds silly, but it's easy to get offended by someone who like just differs in opinion. It's
Hmm.
just again, it's kind of like one of those weird basic truths. and it's hard to shed, but if you can shed it, then you're on your way to being, a good, wise human being. Um, but I don't know, like simple example. Um, I don't have a simple example, but um,
Hell yeah.
I don't know. I can't think of anything else as an example, but paralleling Vic's and mine opposing ideas, but just the way that he, I guess, presented his argument and he just answered the questions with class.
Hmm.
And like this is probably crazy that I remember the conversation so well, but I just feel like I remember it so well, and just again, like he just handled it with class, and I was like, it was just a great point. And so I don't know. I guess sometimes maybe that has to do with it is when you're in an argument, or maybe not an argument, but when you're in a discussion with conflicting opinions, I feel like I can get offended easy, and then I just start going like rage mode. I start, throwing all these logical fallacies against the wall, hoping something sticks. And oh, okay, here we go. Perfect example.
Okay.
When
Yeah.
we were in the loft of the room over the garage of my parents'
Hmm.
house. And I think this was around COVID time. This was around the time that we were watching Survivor, Cagayan.
Okay. Yeah. Yeah. Uh-huh.
And again, I'm so sorry that like if it's so silly that this sticks in my memory, but I just remember it because it was like an argument. Like we ended up yelling, I think, or at least I ended up yelling. But when Matthew and I think it was Matthew and I, or it was Matthew and someone, or it was definitely me. It was me and someone. I don't know if it was necessarily Matthew or someone else, but we were talking about the reproductive cycle of a chicken. And I was convinced that, a chicken wouldn't hatch an egg if it wasn't inseminated. But Matthew was right, and he said, no, that's just how chickens work. And I was like, and like, okay, this I feel bad because I don't mean to like call Matthew classless in this. Like I'm sure he was fine. It was just me. It was like the argument came from me because I let myself get too aggro again
Hmm.
over something so silly as like a chicken hatching an egg. And I mean, we're like friends, so I think hindsight's 2020 was just a funny, stupid argument about like does the chicken, a chicken or the egg. Um, but like for example, like I just remember that conversation. I got so worked up and so, you know, I don't know why I did. I guess that's the point. That's the point is I got so worked up over it. Like, and again, not to like bash the other guy, but I feel like both the for some reason, and maybe it was Vic, maybe it was just my level of maturity's grown. I was able to in this conversation with Vic to just be like just genuinely curious and like really listen to
Hmm.
what he had to say and hear out his argument. And so I thought it was, wow, that was a crazy, stupid, long story. I don't even know what my point is, but just it was a good conversation. He brought a great perspective, and
Hmm.
I don't like. I think he's absolutely right. Like for what he wants to do with his life and all that stuff, like he was 1,000% right in his views and everything. And I don't like. I think maybe that was the other part about it is just like uh I say like too much, but there was just I guess a respect for that. So anyways, that's the reason why I think Vic is so cool. Um, but also for other reasons. I mean, he was a fun hang that night. So
Well, it's also a testament to you too. You know,
oh
he had an opposing view, and you're like that. That
yeah,
makes sense. I
yeah,
appreciate you
yeah,
sharing.
yeah. So I appreciate that he wishes me good luck. That's great to hear. Dragged us on there for a couple of minutes, going off on my Johnny tangents, Johnny takeoffs again.
Johnny Takeover.
Takeover, Johnny takeover.
Mm.
I guess you're looking last thing. You're looking good in fantasy. I mean, this is 3 weeks straight where you're going to be 110 plus points. How do you feel?
Um, I feel good. It does bother me that I never won a championship in the official just I'm not saying I'm winning a championship this year,
Yeah.
but I won a championship before the Justice League officially started, and then I'm 3-0 now, which I haven't done in a long
Hmm.
time.
Yeah.
So I just wish during the Justice League period I was a little bit better
Yeah.
because everyone's
Hey,
just
look, new league, new you. Like you said, I think this is good.
I agree, but I just wish a part of me wishes that why couldn't this have happened a couple years ago? because everyone pre-draft is like, oh, Zach's not like I Connor sent a text was like, oh, I'm facing Zach this week. Whatever. And I was like, guys, I I I know fantasy football, man. Or I think I do, but I just couldn't perform in the Justice League. So maybe it's bittersweet. I guess I'm thinking about that because that era's over and when it's a new era, so new time for Zach. But I do look. I mean, the Justice League was some of my happiest memories.
Yeah.
So
Yeah.
I don't know. I don't. With all this said, I want to make it very clear. I am so honored to be 3-0. I am so happy, and I hope I
Dominant,
keep the ball
dominant
rolling.
3-0.
Yeah, I just want to keep the ball rolling and then see where the season takes me. I know I'm gonna get a loss here and there, but I hope this trend continues because I haven't been this dominant since 2021.
Mm-hmm.
So fingers crossed, no injuries happen,
Mm-hmm.
and yeah, I'm just happy to be here. I'm happy to finally be. I don't want to say back, but I'm finally back.
Amazing. Brilliant. Sick. All right. So I guess leave comments about what Zach needs to do, how he needs to fix himself. Leave comments about how to help the dog. Leave comments about dreams.
I
Leave
was gonna
leave a,
say like
leave your favorite dream.
if you had a fun dream recently, put in the comments. I would love to
Yeah.
read it.
Put it in the comments. We'd
But
love to
make
read
it
that.
fun. Make it
Make it
fun. Don't
fun.
make it lame.
Yeah, don't make it lame. Make it fun. Um, and leave your comment about how you think Zach's gonna do for the rest of the fantasy season. And we will see you next week. Thank you all for stopping in. Thank you, Zach, for joining me.
Thanks, guys. Thanks, John. Bye.